Backus, you came up as Mr. Clutch tonight with the final point to put your team ahead. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, it's not me. I gotta give all thanks and praise to the big man downstairs, Beelzebub. Where's my 666 correct? The great deceiver.
Backman, take me through that emotional speech you gave during the final timeout.
I said, guys, let's rise like the king of Babylon, rise to the occasion. 6 seconds left, let's make 6 passes and get these 6 points.
Now, Backman, are you guys gonna be back to business as normal, or are you guys going to celebrate this one a little bit?
No, you have to. You gotta revel in it a little bit. We're gonna head back, hotel, maybe have a small, intimate black mass. It is the Witch's Sabbath and all. Some black candles, something completely chill, some blasphemous sexuality. Hey, bro, I gotta run.
Always take your side.
Get out of here. Well, that's going to do it for us here. A devout man with a lot to celebrate tonight. Now back to you guys in the studio for the box score. It starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Bronco Los Angeles. They are the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut, of all places. Guys, when a legend retires, it usually brings out the big guns to talk about said retiree. This is already happening with Kobe Bryant. A lot of worthy pundits, but Paulie, who is the smartest basketball person you've ever heard?
Smartest? Wow, that's a good question, Brian. I'm not gonna. I mean, Reggie for us, it's great because Reggie will be honest. Even today, when Reggie told a story about Kobe, he went, and he wouldn't, and then he let it go. Charles Barkley's brutally honest as well. He'll say someone sucks if they suck, and he'll say someone's better than him. So it's one of those things. If guys like that can be unbiased and they played the game, it's better than any writer.
Yeah, if not the smartest. Oh, what?
Kawakami. I mean. Tim Kawakami, if he wants to weigh in on Steph Curry or maybe Stanford hoops.
Sure.
He's there for you. Just want to point that out.
Get him out of the Heisman race.
Yeah.
USFL.
Yeah, if you're on a train up the Metrolink going up to Fruitvale Station, you read Kawakami. Well, another guy worth listening to is Michael Wilbon, and he called in today and talked about how the public perception is changing of Kobe.
I think it's been a while for Kobe. I mean, what was it, 2003? We're talking 12, almost 13 years ago. It's a long time. In the world we live in, the social media world, people can form opinions and change them completely and do 180. I don't hear the vitriol directed at Kobe in the last 5, 6, 7 years that was directed at him earlier when he was involved in the Colorado situation. I haven't heard that at all.
I like what he said there. That I'm not seeing a lot of that too. I know we focus on the negative, so for every one negative comment that we can hang on, especially when like a superstar player like Kevin Durant has something to say, but I'm not really seeing that either way. Like the media is ganging up on Kobe Bryant. There's maybe some honest columns written about that. Which we all know is not.
I saw a major sports website, and they had a headline for their main article today. It said "F off Kobe." One of the biggest sports websites in the country. Yeah, it's Deadspin. You should check it out. They had their main there was an article that said "F you, Kobe," and that was the headline of their article.
That's a little harsh. But what I've come across, I don't know where Durant's coming from with all that, but he's sticking up for a guy he obviously idolizes and admires. But I'm not seeing some kind of national attack on Kobe. We all know he's struggling and he's old and he's got injuries and this is his last year. But I don't see how he's getting totally killed by people the way Durant's making it sound.
Yeah, and that article wasn't penned by Kawakami. He never works blue. All right, well, Kobe's announcement may have taken some by surprise, but the GM of the Lakers, Mitch Kupchak, called in today and talked about when he knew that it might be time for Kobe to retire.
Well, we've had multiple discussions over the years, and when we signed him to the 2-year extension, the understanding that he left me with was this was going to be it. And so that was my understanding. Now, I got a call from him on Sunday, out of the blue, telling me that he was going to hand out some pamphlets at the game announcing that this was going to be his last year. So I was startled, by the phone call and the fact that he was going to make an announcement that evening, but it was my understanding all along.
It's interesting. Mitch is like the only person surprised that this was going to be Kobe's last year, it feels like. No offense. Every time he comes on, though, it's this amazing tap dance around a whole bunch of topics. And today it started with who's the greatest Laker of all time. One he was not expecting to answer. He was not. He did not expect the interview to start off with that, which was our poll question today. But then he's got to sort of dance around the Kobe thing. He had a couple of little moments there, little jabs at him, and maybe he would step back with his time. And I just found out that it was sort of it's a funny appearance from him.
Can you imagine Mitch Kupchak sitting at his breakfast table, just eating a little, reading the paper, whatever he does on his iPad. All of a sudden he sees Kobe on the calling line. How is that a good thing when you're in this situation? Does he know, like, oh, what is this? I can't imagine.
The funny thing is, he said, Dan said, did you know that Kobe was retired? Oh, yeah, I knew. Then I got the call on Sunday, and I had no idea. It felt like a little bit of revisionist history.
Well, no, he said he knew in general. He knew.
So what does that mean? Yeah, so he didn't know before anybody else.
He was going to announce his retirement and have a pamphlet printed out to give to 20,000 people. It seemed pretty clear he did that
stay quiet?
Well, he knew he was going to retire at some point.
Kobe had already written the thing for the Players Tribune, so the magazine, the Players Tribune, knew before the general manager of his team, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
You know who else they should hire at the Players Tribune?
Timmy? Not a player.
TK, Tim Kawakami. He is a player.
He's a player.
No R involved.
Yeah, no. Kawakami may have covered the Lakers at some point. And McLovin, you brought up this discussion today. Which Laker you would want to start a franchise with? But let's do it differently on this one, McLovin. Let's say the player is not Hall of Fame quality. Who are you going to start your franchise with? Any player, any team.
Okay, second tier, not Hall of Fame caliber.
Good question.
Well, for me, it's easy because I came from Philadelphia, and it's common knowledge that you had Dr. J, Will Chamberlain, Andrew Toney was better than all those players combined. To my generation of players, like our age group, like remember when he beat the Celtics single-handedly in the 1981 finals? You can look it up on YouTube. No, maybe it was 80. Anyway, that was Andrew Toney's my guy, former Philadelphia 76er.
I think if you're going to go with someone, you got to go with. Who do you got? No one?
Bobby Jones, man, that guy could glue you up. Defense, we called him peanut butter because he's stuck to it.
What about a Danny Ainge, like a feisty type?
No, everybody hates Danny Ainge as a player.
Because he's good.
Yeah. Oh, because he was cheap. He bit Tree Rollins on the leg.
That's the kind of guy you want.
Actually, no, Tree Rollins bit him on the leg.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Tree's the biter.
Miscommunication with that story.
Either way.
He's scrappy. Just like my #1 pick in my draft, the slashing left-hander, Tim Kawakami.
Love Tim.
Look at that guy. Eye of the Tiger. All right, coming up, we've got the best line to use on your wife in bed. How about this? You play a little game. She's lying away from you. You start writing on her back. What are you writing? I have a 1500 Eco Diesel. That's right. Any truck can climb a hill, haul a trailer, tow a boat. And you know, this truck won't quit by writing a poem about being a truck. It just keeps kicking ass. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
Who did you tell first?
I told my wife at about 1 a.m. in the morning that maybe we're getting ready to be the head coach of USC and need to pull the kids out of school and come to the press conference. So that was a pretty big shock to her in the early morning.
We are back here on the box score. That's USC's newest head coach, Clay Hilton. Talk about how he told his wife that he received the head coaching job. McLovin, is he the best fit for the Trojans?
Well, by the way, it was implied there, but that he had Tim Kawakami on speakerphone and just had it. Why did he tell his wife?
Simultaneously.
How do you gain the full-time job? Tim's sitting there scribing like it's a given. Pac-12 territory.
Have that relationship.
I know that's Southern Los Angeles, but Tim's pretty taking over.
Now break down that coaching move.
Yeah, he's a sex surrogate, I guess.
So Clay Helton at USC. I admit, my first reaction was like, they got Clay Helton. I mean, I guess he did a nice job, but I built myself up for something a little sexier than Clay Helton.
It does bother me a little bit, and I believe that he got the UCLA win and then got the job, which makes sense. I mean, you beat UCLA, which is a good program now. Everyone feels good. They feel good about you. You're definitely not Steve Sarkisian, who went out in a blaze of mess. But you should be better than, or you should be a hotter prospect than one game. Like, because if he loses his next two, let's say they get smoked by Stanford and then they just lose a bowl game. How's that going to go to the offseason? So it seems premature, but hey, you know what? He could prove everybody wrong.
Well, Seton, Hilton talked a few times about having his family being relieved about the news. What was the reaction like in your house when you left ESPN?
Well, actually at the time I was single, so I was personally like, damn, I don't know if I should really be doing this, to be perfectly honest with you. My mom thought I was crazy, although she understood why I was doing it. And almost everyone that I worked with at ESPN was like, dude, you're making a huge mistake. And nobody cares about Dan anymore. He's completely washed up, has been, and nobody cares. And ESPN will never take you back because you're going to sleep with the enemy, was the words that was used by one of my bosses. And then you fast forward about a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, and I'm getting the phone calls of, how do I do what you do? And I say, well, you can't. I just already did it. And no one else is. You can't do it. The ship's already sailed.
No more job openings.
We're already doing it, you know? So, yeah, there was a lot of question marks, though, about it. And especially the first day showing up to work and being like, holy crap, this is, all right, we're really building this from the ground up. That's interesting.
And you've been sleeping with the enemy ever since. Fritzy, Hilton talked about bringing a blue-collar approach to the team. Can you bring a blue-collar approach to a team like that, the USC, that is full of so many rich kids?
I'd like to think so. That I'm sure the players want to give off the impression that they're not. There's no silver spoons. They're not spoiled. I don't know what their backgrounds are, but hopefully Clay will get them all together on the same page, and regardless of what their socioeconomic background is, that they got to play hard. And there's got a big game coming up against Stanford, and whether they come from rich households, middle class, or a poverty environment, whatever the case may be, it's time to rally around their new coach, and especially as Paulie was saying, you got to either, if not beat Stanford, have a really good showing, or it's going to be very, very difficult after the hiring to explain why they didn't go for a juicier name, Patty.
Good showing's not going to do it.
Yeah.
A 1-point loss won't help you.
The juicier, the better. All right, congrats to Hilton. I hear Sark's house is for sale out in PV. Lovely ranch style. All right, stick around. The boss is finally king of his castle, not the Seinfeld type. Welcome back to Box Score. Guys, Week 12 in the NFL had it all. Blowouts, upsets, backups, injuries, with huge implications for all in fantasy, but none more than those right now, our very own Dan Duel. So without further ado, let's get to the trash talk, shall we? And let's go to the man that is on top of the heap. We made fun of his game for so long, but he went jaw face on everyone. And this week's Man Cave champion is none other than little Danny Patrick. McLovin, Dan won with a roster that includes Eli Manning, Doug Martin, and Brandon Marshall. What year is this?
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Did Dan get lucky? I mean, who knew that Eli and Beckham were going to blow up late in that game, which they were shut out the entire game. Yeah. FanDuel it's a merciless, I want to use a bad word.
Where are we at now with first place finish? I think Dan has 2 or 3.
You may have 3.
3. I think I'm almost sure I have 2. This would have been my 3rd. Fritzy, how many do you have?
I think I have 2. Pretty sure I have just 2.
I think I'm at 4.
I think I have 2. But it's a weekly fantasy ball. Nobody cares.
Well, but yeah, of course we care.
We can make a season out of it.
Yeah, this is like our own little personal season bragging rights.
Yeah.
If I gave you right now Seton or the field for total wins.
Yeah, but it goes completely against the entire thesis of the game to collect weekly.
I don't know what thesis means, but I know what a bet is.
Well, McLovin, fortunately for you, we are keeping score. Dan has 3 of those first place finishes, and the guy that finished right behind him this week is none other than the fabulous Paul Pabst, who's having a great season. Now, you spent big money on Odell Beckham. Is he the most exciting receiver in the game?
I think it's a coin flip between him and DeAndre Hopkins. I think they're the same exact player. They make the spectacular weekly. And DeAndre doesn't have a real strong quarterback thrown to him, so he actually has more work to do. But, if either one of those guys switched towns, they would be in a totally different stratosphere as far as popularity.
All right, let's move from the silver medal right to middle of the road, and it's none other than Todd Fritz finishing 3rd. Now, you still drafted the fantasy player with the lowest total of anyone in the man cave, and if that wasn't bad enough, you drafted a second player who was just as bad. So as always, what the hell, man?
It's very, very frustrating. I don't know why I went to Lamar Miller again, who got 2.8. Chris Brown, I thought he'd get some field goals against the Redskins. He finished with 2 points, 2 extra points. That was just a total disaster. I thought Vernon Davis would do something special in the Bronco-Patriot game, that maybe Osweiler would roll out and hit him a few times.
But you're happy with 3rd place.
I am happy with that. I would have preferred 1st place or 2nd place, but it's not 4th place or last place.
You can't ask for everything.
You can't ask for everything. But the fact that Chris Brown had 2, Lamar Miller had 2.8, and then I got 2 from Vernon Davis.
That's happy with 3rd place.
Under 10 points from 1/3 of your lineup didn't. It's amazing that I even finished 3rd if 1/3 of my lineup barely got me to 9 points.
All right, well, and now the battle for the worst. It's McLovin or Seton. And after the break, no, not really. Let's get right to it. It's McLovin who just barely squeaked out Seton by a couple points. Now, this is your worst showing this season. I mean, what was the big letdown for you?
I'm not going to complain, but it was a short week. I didn't have enough time to study with the Thanksgiving holiday, and I broke my own rule, and I took a quarterback on the road, and it burned me. What happened was I had $500 extra at the end of the day, and I saw Carson Palmer sitting there at $8,100, and I said, well, I got to spend my money. So I took Russell Wilson off, and then I put Carson Palmer on, and then I cursed the TV all day.
I never do that. I've been trying to, and it hasn't really worked or not worked. I've been kind of middle of the road all year. But I pick my team, and I take a peek sometimes if I have $200-300 bucks left, but I leave it.
Oh, you will? That's really interesting.
I mean, if I had $1,000 left over, which I'm not going to, I would say, all right, I need to start over.
Do you ever, I used to do, I'd sort of do what both of you guys do. Earlier in the season, I used to make sure I spent all of my money. Now, lately, it's like, no, these are the people that I like, and if I have $400 left, I just have $400.
I wish I had done that,
Because, I always want room under the salary cap for, like, post-game parties, anything. You want to take the guys out for a drink, you got to have that in your funds for later.
True story.
All right, and finally, in last place, little Seton O'Connor. And for the first time, you didn't go with an Oakland receiver, and either one of those guys would have got you out of the cellar this week. Does someone have a little case of the Regretskis?
Regretskis.
Well, I wasn't aware of that until this very moment, and that's unfortunate, but...
Dude, your receivers were pretty good.
I think this really pretty much says it all.
Poop it.
Yeah, this is what I get.
Oh, that is a visual. Suddenly I'm hungry
sticking out to
for something. I don't know. All right, how do we get out of this? Yes, well, let's just give congratulations to Dan and Paul for being at the top of the pile. Not the one on Seton's head, though. All right, but first, this is the box score. We need to take a break to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. If you want more facts, I'm sure they're available on ramtrucks.com, Guts Glory Ram, and you can even haul all the poop you want. Well past the time.
Is Kobe going to try too hard because this is his big game in Philly, and it's going to cause him to have even a worse shooting night, and then he's got to walk away from Philadelphia with their first loss?
I don't know. He just told me he's going to try too hard tonight. Yeah, he just told me. Yeah.
I see that. I think it's going to be the first win for Philly.
Me too. You're calling the shot. Well, okay. What are you going to attach to this?
Ooh.
We're closing up shop here on the box score. Fritz tried to go hammer, declaring the winner of that Lakers 76ers, and the boss jumped on him and forced a wheel of punishment/funishment. Seton, for those who missed it, what are the stakes here?
All right, so did you give points or anything on this, or is it just straight up?
Straight up. I said that my prediction was like 89-84 that the Sixers would win by 5, but if the Sixers don't beat the Lakers, then...
Right, so then we're going to go Wheel of Punishment, which I'm...
No, I don't think we're doing Wheel of Punishment. Are we going straight to man buns?
No, okay, well, right, but it's a new twist this week in that there will still be a Wheel of Punishment spun. It's just going to determine the length of time Todd has to grow his hair out, which could be anywhere between 1 and 4 months. Right. Is the way that I understand
this. There was talk about trying to make a little mini Brussels sprout man.
You're going to have a man bun.
Fritz, if you could have your choice, would you want 1 month,
Brussels sprout
4 months, or 2.5 months right in the middle?
I think you know the answer to that one. I think I'd go right there.
A Brussels sprout.
Now, would you prefer
2.5?
Would you prefer?
What else would it look like?
Are you going to shave the sides and keep it tight around there and just grow out the back, or are you going to grow out everything?
If I lost it, whatever it would take for it to look somewhat presentable, where it wouldn't be like a total.
We don't have that
mess,
much time.
I would be up for it, but. There's just, it's not like all of a sudden I'm going to have some kind of big afro over 3.
How about if you look like a Shaolin monk in one of those old movies that have the braid? They're totally bald.
Why don't you
suggest?
You know what you should think of tonight, and to spice this up a little? You should think of an alternative. So when you come tomorrow, let's say you lose. If you lose, you should come up with an alternative that is punishment enough and funny enough on air, but that you would choose to do. And I know this is going to take some thinking, but if you walk in tomorrow and say, "Hey, I'm going to do this on air." And Dan goes, ooh, this may be better.
But like you did with the bolt, I don't want to have enough hair back here to make a Bronco.
Okay, but what if you were gonna dye your hair gray or something?
Or black, jet black.
Yeah, that could be fun. What if you're going to bleach it blonde?
See, yes.
That would be fun.
Right, and it's 1 week of your life, and then you go back to whatever that color is now.
Whatever color that is.
I don't know. I don't know. It's dark brown.
There's not enough hair to really know what color it is. But yeah, dyeing what's left of my hair black is something that could be undertaken.
That's not. You kind of have black hair.
You have black hair already.
I mean,
you were saying jet black.
Todd tried to jump on that grenade.
Yeah. I can do that.
If you said you were going to shave this daily and grow this for 2 months,
that'd be dope.
I'd sign up for that, and you look kick-ass.
Yeah.
I don't know if I look great in it.
Well, let's find out.
Fritzy, now.
I'm sure you look much better with a man bun.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've grown out your hair. Does it come out straight, or will it be all sort of poofy like Gene Shalit?
What's happened? I haven't done it in a while, but in recent years, I get the Bozo the Clown look, where it grows out sideways, nothing at the top, so it just gets all puffy and out of control.
If you just go back, if you find old video of us when the TV show first started. I mean, that's Todd with a longer hairdo.
Briefcase.
Yeah, briefcase.
So it would go down like Ben Franklin style, where it comes down.
Black suit.
It only goes east-west, not north-south.
Yeah, it's very frustrating how just nothing will grow up here. I've tried watering it. I've put little seeds in. I know we've tried painting it and spraying it, but yeah, just the sides will grow, and that's really all that happens.
Well, maybe you can learn to make balloon animals or something like that, and do kids' parties. Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
That is a mystery. Stay tuned. Right now, it'll be the four of us and Dan all chatting with each other, which could still be a great show, and will be a great show. And at some point, maybe we'll sprinkle in a couple of guests, and I'll see if I could sprinkle something on top of my head.
Oh, sprinkle me. E40. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We are back tomorrow right here on Audience Channel 239. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!